In the small, serene village of Eldergrove, the night sky was a vast canvas painted with stars, twinkling like diamonds scattered across black velvet. The village, nestled in a lush valley, surrounded by ancient mountains, was known for its tranquility. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the villagers would gather outside, marveling at the brilliant full moon that bathed the land in a soft silver light. It was a tradition steeped in gratitude and hope, and every household prepared for the upcoming Festival of the Moon, a celebration to honor the celestial guardian that watched over them. Among the villagers was a curious and adventurous girl named Mira, a 10-year-old with wide, bright eyes and an insatiable thirst for exploration. Her spirit was as wild as the river that flowed through Eldergrove, and her laughter echoed like the chirping of crickets on a warm summer night. She often found solace under the moonlight, lying on the soft grass, dreaming of far-off places and fantastic adventures. Each night, as the moon hung overhead, she felt a connection to something greater than herself. Mira's grandmother, a wise woman with silver hair and gentle hands, would often tell her stories about the moon, how it was a living being, a guardian that illuminated the dark paths of the night and protected the village from shadows. "The moon is our friend, Mira," she would say, her eyes sparkling with nostalgia. "It has seen us through storms and darkness, always shining brightly. We must honor it and remember that its light is a gift." As the Festival of the Moon approached, the villagers busied themselves with preparations. Colorful lanterns adorned the streets, and fragrant flowers were woven into garlands. Mira helped her grandmother prepare delicious pastries filled with sweet berries and honey, a traditional treat enjoyed during the festival. The anticipation hung in the air like the scent of fresh-baked bread, sweet and inviting. However, one evening, just days before the festival, Mira noticed something strange. The moon, which had always appeared bright and full, seemed dimmer than usual. Its silvery glow was muted, casting longer shadows that danced eerily across the village. Mira mentioned her concern to her friends, but they laughed it off, focusing instead on the festivities. "You worry too much, Mira. It's just a cloud," one friend teased. As the night deepened, a chill settled over Eldergrove. The wind whispered secrets through the trees, and the animals seemed restless, their eyes wide with fear. Even the village dogs barked anxiously, sensing an impending darkness. Mira, uneasy, sought comfort in her grandmother's presence. "Grandma, something doesn't feel right," she said, her voice trembling. Her grandmother, sensing the seriousness in her tone, knelt beside her. "The moon's light is vital for our well-being, my dear. Perhaps it is a sign for us to pay closer attention to the spirits of the night. We must prepare for the festival, but we must also show our gratitude to the moon." Suddenly, as the clock struck midnight, a hush fell over Eldergrove. The moon began to fade before their eyes, transforming from a luminous orb to a ghostly silhouette. The bright orb that had illuminated their lives slipped into darkness, leaving the villagers engulfed in shadows. Panic erupted among them. Mothers gathered their children close, and the elders whispered urgently, debating what could have caused this phenomenon. "The moon spirits must be angry," one elder declared, his voice trembling. "We have neglected our duties to them. The moon has taken flight to escape our care." Mira's heart raced at the elder's words. She had heard the stories of the moon spirits, ethereal beings who guarded the moon and its light. If they were angry, they might take the moon away forever. Determined to restore the moon, Mira decided she must venture into the forbidden forest, where it was said the moon spirits resided. Legends warned of the dangers lurking within, enchanted creatures and illusions that could lead travelers astray, but Mira felt an unshakable pull to protect her home. Gathering her courage, she slipped out of her house, clutching her grandmother's silver locket tightly. It had been passed down through generations and was believed to hold protective magic. The path into the forest was dark and twisted, but Mira pressed on, fueled by hope and the love for her village. As she entered the forest, the trees seemed to close in around her, their gnarled branches reaching out like fingers. Strange sounds echoed through the air, whispers and rustles that made her heart race. The shadows flickered, revealing glimpses of the forest's magic and danger. Each step felt like an echo, a reminder of the urgency of her quest. After wandering deeper into the forest, Mira encountered a curious creature, a small, luminescent fox with fur that sparkled like the stars. Its eyes shone with intelligence, and it tilted its head, studying Mira with curiosity. "Why do you wander alone, child?" it asked, its voice melodious and soft. "I seek the moon spirits. The moon has disappeared, and I must bring it back," Mira replied, her voice steady despite her fear. The fox regarded her thoughtfully. "Many have sought the moon spirits, but few return. The journey is perilous, filled with trials that test your heart and spirit. I seek the moon spirits. The moon has disappeared, and I must bring it back," Mira replied, her voice steady despite her fear. The fox regarded her thoughtfully. "Many have sought the moon spirits, but few return. The journey is perilous, filled with trials that test your heart and spirit. I am willing to face whatever challenges come my way," Mira declared, determination lighting her eyes. With a nod, the fox decided to accompany her. "Then let us find the way together." As Mira and the fox journeyed deeper into the forest, they encountered their first trial. A vast river flowed before them, its water swirling with dark energy. An ancient bridge stretched across, but it was guarded by a fierce creature, a serpent made of shadows. Its scales glistened like obsidian, and its eyes glowed with a malevolent light. "Only those with pure intentions may pass," the serpent hissed, coiling itself protectively around the bridge. "What do you seek, child?" "I seek the moon to bring light back to my village," Mira stated boldly. "I wish to protect my home and the people I love." The serpent's eyes narrowed, evaluating her sincerity. After a tense moment, it retreated, allowing Mira and the fox to cross the bridge safely. The journey continued, fraught with challenges that tested Mira's resolve. As they ventured further, they encountered a haunting mist that enveloped the trees, distorting reality. Shadows flickered, and Mira began to see visions of her greatest fears, losing her family, failing her village, and never seeing the moon again. Each vision was a knife that twisted in her heart, sowing doubt and despair. "Do not let the illusions consume you," the fox warned, guiding her through the fog. "Focus on your love for your village, for it is stronger than any fear." Mira closed her eyes and took a deep breath. She thought of her grandmother's stories, the warmth of her home, and the laughter of her friends. As she focused on these memories, the mist began to dissipate, revealing a clear path ahead. Finally, after what felt like hours of challenges, they arrived at a clearing bathed in a soft, ethereal light. In the center stood a magnificent tree, its branches adorned with shimmering silver leaves. This was the sanctuary of the moon spirits. The air was thick with magic, and Mira felt a powerful energy pulsing from the tree. Mira approached the tree, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she placed her hand on its trunk, a gentle voice echoed through the clearing. "Child of Eldergrove, why do you seek us? The moon has disappeared, and my village is lost in darkness. I wish to restore its light and protect my home," Mira pleaded, tears welling in her eyes. The spirits appeared, ethereal beings shimmering like moonlight. They were beautiful, with flowing robes that sparkled as if woven from stars. One spirit stepped forward, her voice soothing yet firm. "Your heart is pure, but to restore the moon, a sacrifice must be made. You must choose your greatest treasure or the love you hold for your village." Mira gasped, her grandmother's locket pulsing in her hand. It held her family's legacy and love. "I cannot lose this," she whispered, fear gripping her heart. "But think of your village," the spirit urged. "Without the moon, they will suffer. Your choice will determine the fate of many. Mira stood at the crossroads of love and sacrifice. She thought of her grandmother's warm embrace and the stories they had shared. In a moment of clarity, she realized that the love she held for her family was not just contained within the locket, it lived in her heart. She took a deep breath and spoke with conviction. I choose to give up my locket. The love it represents will always remain in my heart, and I would rather have my village safe and sound than hold on to a material treasure. The spirits nodded in approval, their light intensifying. You have chosen wisely, brave child. Your selflessness shall restore the moon. With a wave of their hands, the spirits summoned a brilliant light that enveloped the clearing. Mira felt warmth spread through her, and suddenly, the sky began to shimmer. Above, the moon re-emerged, brighter than ever, casting a radiant glow over Eldergrove. As the light poured down, Mira could feel the energy of her village returning. The shadows that had threatened to consume them dissipated, and the villagers emerged from their homes, looking up in awe at the glowing moon. Mira turned to the spirits, her heart swelling with gratitude. Thank you for your kindness, she said, her voice filled with emotion. With the spirits smiling down on her, Mira and the fox made their way back through the forest, retracing their steps. The journey felt lighter now, as if the weight of her sacrifice had given her wings. Upon returning to Eldergrove, Mira was greeted by cheers and embraces from her family and friends. They gathered under the full moon, dancing and celebrating the return of their beloved light. Mira's grandmother pulled her close, tears of joy in her eyes. You were brave, my child. The moon shines because of your love. As the villagers celebrated, Mira looked up at the moon, grateful for the lessons learned. It was more than just a celestial body, it was a reminder of the love, unity, and sacrifices that defined their lives. From that day forward, the Festival of the Moon took on a deeper meaning. It was no longer just a celebration of the moon's light, but a celebration of love, sacrifice, and the bonds that held the village together. Mira often shared her story with the younger children, reminding them of the importance of selflessness and courage. The moon shone brighter than ever, a beacon of hope for Eldergrove. And though Mira had given up her grandmother's locket, she knew that its true power lay not in its physical form, but in the love it represented, a love that would endure through the ages. As time passed, the village flourished, united by the bond they shared with the moon. Each year, during the Festival of the Moon, they would gather under its silvery glow, retelling the story of the brave girl who ventured into the forest and faced the trials of the night. They remembered the importance of gratitude, love, and the sacrifices made for one another. Mira grew up to be a wise leader in the village, guiding the next generation with the stories of her youth. The legend of the night the moon disappeared lived on, a reminder that true courage comes from the heart and that love, when given freely, can conquer even the darkest of nights. And so, in Eldergrove, the moon continued to shine, a constant reminder of the bravery, love, and unity that bound the villagers together, illuminating their paths and protecting them from darkness.